These days, who doesn't use ChatGPT? Well, believe me, I checked out the profile of our next guest on ChatGPT and I asked, tell me who that person is. Well, here we go. Brian Ah-Chuen is a prominent banker and executive in Mauritius with deep experience in strategic business leadership within the ABC Group and within the local corporate community. So guess who we have as guest with us today? Brian, welcome and thank you once again for accepting our invitation to be on our podcast.
Pleasure to be here, Vimy. Thank you for inviting me.
Always a pleasure working with the bank and especially now getting the chance to talk to somebody like you. So let's start on a light note and tell us a bit, before we get to this prominent banker who you are, so tell us a bit about who this person is and probably as well, what are some of the experiences and moments in your career that have really shaped who you have become as a leader today?
Well, may I start by saying, whatever you read on ChatGPT, you should always check it with the source.
True.
So I believe by coming here, you're doing the right thing. So it's a good start. In regard to your question, I believe it's been set a lot on the values that I've obtained throughout my lifetime, and a lot have come from my father. Still is, and it's based a lot on integrity. I've grown up in such an environment, so for me, I'm very much at ease with it. Rigor in what he does and still does, and he's a very humble person, and I do believe I am as well. And he lives by a very high level of ethics.
Wow!
It's never compromised. So to me, it's all natural. Right? And when I started working for the group back in 1992, I experienced the spirit of entrepreneurship, coming back to work for the family, and also how to be resilient in adverse situations. So I came back in such circumstances back in 1992 from Canada. So we were thrown into the deep end, and we had to be resilient in these adverse situations. And I'm also someone who goes very straight to the point. Sometimes I'm told too brutal, but I like to keep things simple and honest.
Wow. You mentioned resilience and you mentioned rigor that your dad has taught you, but I'm sure that along that journey of yours, be it in Canada or when you came back here, there must have been a moment where, something happened that significantly influenced the way that you lead today?
It's difficult to say, Vimy, because I haven't had this aha moment that shaped me as a leader today. I believe it's developed over time, and the style itself, it's very specific to me. So I always believe that one needs to lead as a team member and not as an army general. And of course, one needs to lead by example. At one point in my career, I even started to question if this was me as a leader, because I have this friendly approach to work. But during my career, I experienced some complacency vis-a-vis my colleagues with my approach. So I had to rethink if it was the right way of doing things. And then I realized, yes, it is me. It's the way I want to lead, but it's just the way I need to communicate it to the people on my approach, which is maybe different to what they're used to. And obviously, yes, be friendly, but also be very professional in how we work together, especially in the business context. So
was that a tough call to make?
Not really, because I believe if it's something that you truly believe in and it comes natural to you, but then it has to be right for you, right? And now I'm much more at ease on the way I lead, and I don't believe in the army style, especially in the business context and in today's world.
Absolutely. And today we talk about, generations and all these 5 generations that are in the workplace. So I guess
Yes.
Having some kind of agility in the way that we lead is also critical.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So let's talk a bit about the challenges. You were mentioning resilience earlier on. So let's talk a bit about those challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome that? Because we are not here talking about a one man having to overcome a challenge, but we are talking about somebody leading a bank having to get everyone on board in overcoming those challenges. So tell us a bit about that.
We all experience challenges throughout our lifetime. I believe it's part of working in an organization, and what I've seen is the best performing people are the ones who can keep a cool head, as it allows them to make the best decisions, right? I must admit that this doesn't come naturally to me, to stay cool during crises. So I have to act consciously to ensure that I keep my calm, I keep my cool, so that I can resolve the issue the best I can. Right? And in regard to, if we talk about success, I believe truly that success breeds success. And when success is brought about through teamwork and celebrated as a team, it does nourish more success. And I also believe that in any situation or any deal, any agreement, it has truly to be a win-win. Because if it isn't, it's not sustainable. And I've had even many deals where I felt that I came out a big winner, and I got everything I wanted, and the agreement didn't even last 1 year. So it may be good at that point in time, but then if it's not sustainable, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the understanding that, something that is happening right now in the end might not be the best for everyone or even for the bank. Let me just come back to the challenges that you were mentioning. You've taken the bank through a transformational phase. We're not going to be promoting the bank here, but we know what it has gone through. So would there be any moment that you felt that, I don't think we're going to pull this through?
Yes, many times and many days. But one thing I put in my head is that with any challenge, you can find a solution, right? And especially if you believe that you have the right team that you can work with to find that solution. So yes, it's true that there are days that you feel really down and you don't feel you're going to make it, but you have to believe that you can, and you have to get to that day, and you know that the next day is going to be a better day. And and after 15 years, I believe we've done very well. We still get challenges, but like I said, this is part of the running a company, and we tackle it one at a time.
And Brian, you mentioned the values that you got from your father, and who is still, I hear, your inspiration and your mentor. So how do those values help you in those tough times that you've mentioned, in terms of, getting the team on board, or realizing that, even if it didn't pull through the way I was thinking of, but at the end of the day, it's working for the best. So how do you leverage on your values to achieve those?
Yeah, like I said, in tough situations, or in challenges, or in adverse situations, sometimes you tend to fall out of line. And then when you bring these values back to the actions that you take, you're staying on the right path, and this is what brings you confidence that you can overcome any adversity that you can come across. Yeah.
Lovely. I mean, We do say that, leadership is driven by values, and when it's driven by strong values, that comes from the family. So that's a solid foundation, I bet.
Thank you.
And so, Brian, you lead this team and you've got people around you. You've got strong leaders, I suppose, around you. You have built a team where you probably onboarded leaders from different cultures and so on. So through all that, how do you create the empowerment and the development of the team? And if you allow me, maintaining that dynamic that is required for ABC Banking to succeed?
Yes, it's been, I think it will always be a tough battle to get the right team, be it in a company or even a football team. It's always complicated.
By the way, which team do you support?
I'm not going to say because they're doing very badly at the moment. Okay. No, it's Manchester United. They're doing better these days. Okay. They're ahead of Liverpool. But no, you're right. It's very, very important to have the right people around you. Not necessarily like-minded, but people who can challenge you.
Yeah.
Obviously, to work professionally, to discuss. And I love to work with people who are able to challenge what I do or what I say, because I find great value in it. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, but when we do disagree, we discuss what needs to be discussed and we come up with the best solution for the benefit of the company, right? And if you keep that in mind, then everything is much easier. You have to put your ego aside. I always tell people that egos are very costly and they're not always in the interest of the business. So whatever discussions we have, it's always on a professional level. And I believe that's how you get the best value out of the people you work with, and it's really one team, right?
So now the bank is doing well, moving on to another phase of its existence and journey. And as you think ahead, so how are you ensuring that you are at the same time creating the next generation of leaders, and that your managers and your leaders are also embracing that initiative?
Well, I believe future leaders are those who have the drive to succeed, right? And they must show it by their daily actions. They show confidence in what they say and do, and they're willing to make sacrifices to show their commitment to the company. Right? They need to be able to challenge the status quo and also challenge anyone, including me, to push forward the ideas that could benefit the company. And they need to recognize that they still have a lot to learn, because the learning process will last during their entire career. I certainly believe that even at the stage of my career, I still have a lot to learn.
Wow.
So once these leaders identify, I need to unleash them so that they can really show their full potential through added responsibilities or put them on special projects. And needless to say, there needs to be a continuous feedback and also a bit of mentoring, so that they see that there's a recognition and that they are really valued by the company.
Yeah, based on what you've just said, it sounds like it's an entire ecosystem that needs to be created for these stars to be able to shine.
Yes, and it's really two ways, Mimi. They have to show that they really want to move forward in their career, and I have to show them that I'm here to support them so that they can arrive at their destination, right?
Wow, sounds like there's a lot on the plate.
Yes.
Now, talking on a lot on the plate, as the one managing this bank, you've got short-term objectives or mandates given to you probably by your board. But at the same time, you've got to have this visionary leadership approach that you are ensuring that things are moving in that direction. So how do you balance these two?
To me, the priority is always long term, right? The way we've done business in, I would say, the family philosophy has right from the beginning is always to look at it long term, and it's never been for the short term gains. But from a purely business perspective, of course, we need to show positive results at all times. So the vision has to be there. It has to be set. This is what we say our Northern Star, where we want to go. And then obviously we break it down, but we always put emphasis on the long-term vision of the company. And the short term, we believe, will come by itself from that long-term vision.
So stay focused.
Yes.
Totally. Now, Brian, you were mentioning you have been in Canada, so you've worked. How long did you work in Canada for?
I lived there for 13 years because we moved there when I was quite young, and I worked there for 2 years before coming back.
All right. So indeed, having lived abroad and worked abroad, you would be familiar with, the global leaders and the way of working. And as you look at that, to what extent would you say that today the global leaders are ready or are preparing themselves for those global challenges that awaits them?
Well, let's talk about maybe 3 different aspects.
Okay.
On the question of sustainability, for example, that everyone is talking about, I believe we all have a role to play. We definitely need to be active in protecting our planet, and there must be a concrete plan. Most importantly, it has to substantially contribute to the cause and not just greenwashing. So for me, it has to be substance, right? When it comes to disruptive technology, for example, or we talked about AI and blockchain, I truly believe we need to embrace it, because it will become part of the way we do business. It will bring about operational efficiency. And of course, we have to mitigate all the risks associated with it. But I believe they're here to stay. It will make a business better. It will bring better products and services to the clients. So I believe we do have to embrace it in that. In regard to diversity, if we can call it that, well, our management team, would you believe it or not, it's already at 40% women, and it's based really on sheer competence. What I want to say is that it has to be done in a sustained way, right? We're just not there to meet a target, to really work with people, but we want to really work with people who can really bring contribution to the company. And it applies to both women and men. And remember, diversity brings value. So if you're gonna ask me if I have 2 competent people, the same men or women, which one would you choose? I would say that the most important is to have a diversified team. So diversity does bring value, not just equality.
Key elements that you've mentioned there, and thank you for that, and kudos for the 40%. Excellent.
Thank you. But like I said, it's not a medal that we aim to get, but we truly and sincerely believe that it's the diversity that brings value, right? And not just the target.
Right. So as we come to the end of this wonderful conversation, you mentioned you've been working for more than 15 years. So allow me to take you back to the young Brian. And if you had to give an advice to the young Brian, what would that advice be?
In terms of, I would say the small advice, don't act or react on emotions or the mood of the moment, because there's a chance that you will say something that you'll regret later. And do take decisions based on factual information, right? But on the other hand, once you've analyzed the situation and feel that it's the right thing to do, don't hold back, right? And whatever the results may be, good or bad, you have to own it, right? And maybe one last thing, choose your battle, right? Not all battles are worth fighting. or I would say most battles are not worth fighting for. So pick the good fight and win, right? And last but not least, as I believe in everything I do as being genuine for me and for the organization, for the country, stay true to yourself.
I mean, we started on that note of values and you're back to that. So it seems like, personal values hold a special place for you. So what's next for Brian?
I still believe, like I said, I have a lot to learn. Obviously, I'm getting close to retirement age, but I still believe I can contribute to the business. Maybe if I can share with you something I would like to be remembered for as someone who empowered those who were willing to give it their all to succeed in their career. Not to get a vote of thanks from them, but to really feel that I've been able to make a difference in their lives, and that in turn they do the same, so that it benefits everyone perpetually, right? And this is the way I want to contribute to other people who I'm working with, and I think this is what I would like to.
That is brilliant, and I believe something like that, leaving that not only for the future leaders, but like you mentioned earlier on, is for the entire country.
Thank you.
Brian, thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you today, and I felt like I discovered somebody else here today. So thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Vivian. Thank you for the opportunity for sharing that with everyone.
Pleasure.
Okay, thank you.